AskReddit by deleted. What food do you think is overrated? I kinda hate huge burgers that you can't eat without everything falling on you or the plate. Like it's not a burger if you have to eat it with a knife and fork. I definitely prefer a wider burger than a tall burger. Gold flaking is kind of dumb. It doesn't really add anything other than an unnecessary garnish. Any of these most expensive dessert dishes that have jewels or gold on them as garnish can just piss right off. I want a dessert that's expensive because of the amount of fancy work and the quality of ingredients that go into it. Your shiny trinkets add nothing. I can make the world's most expensive piece of shit if I tip a cup of diamonds over it. This conversation is making me hungry. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Fondant. Looks very nice if done correctly, tastes horrible. I try to use marzipan instead because I hate when baked goods are solely beautiful but taste like sugary garbage because of fondant and all the other fluff used to make it beautiful. Lobster. Maybe it's because I live where most of them come from. But people freak out about them. They aren't bad, but what makes them desirable is the price, not the taste. And what makes them expensive is how long it takes to ship them, not how good they are to eat. 19th century convicts in Maine agreed with you. If I remember somewhat correctly, they sued and won to limit lobster to twice a week. Ass. Supposedly it's great and everybody eats it. I could never get behind it though. And X200B. Edit. My very first trophy, thank you. This is a lot bigger than I expected. Edit. Thanks to all of those that extended their invitation over to the dark side. You know what? It's more for you. No really, thank you. It's all yours. Bon appetit. Please wash your hands. And thank you for the flair again. I did nothing to deserve it. It's exotic. Doesn't always means delicious. Crumble cookies. Absolutely agree. Don't get me wrong. I'll enjoy some of their flavors, but there are other cookies bakeries that are way better. I'm in Metro Detroit and we have a place called Detroit Cookie Company and they are absolutely amazing. Way more options of flavors, staple flavors and revolving seasonal flavors, gluten-free and vegan options, and I love the backstory. It was just a local girl in her 20s that decided to try opening a cookie bakery and now she's got 2-3 locations over the state of Michigan. Has a cookie truck available to rent for special events and drives a Mercedes now. That's a business I'd rather support than a chain corporate bakery. Truffles. Sure, used in small quantities it's great. It's the excessive use of them. Truffle oil, truffle shavings, truffle emulsions, truffle this, truffle that. I think truffles are hit or miss. After tasting only fake versions, my husband and I finally went to a nice restaurant and tried legit truffle risotto, and I seriously have never tasted anything better in my life. When my parents tried the same thing, they said it was the equivalent of eating body odor in solid form, lol. Overly complicated sushi rolls. Just give me some nigiri please. I don't need your chef's hot take on a California roll with fried octopus testicles and imported Norwegian ass cheese. I live in Nashville, so most sushi places have the obligatory Nashville hot chicken roll, and I have no idea how that even works. Prop food in general. Huge sandwiches, burgers, pizza etc. that get tons of social media attention, but is meant more for show than for consumption. This includes cake boss type cakes with all the decorations made of Rice Krispies, fondant, and styrofoam. Definitely gold flaking. Wagyu beef, which used to be hard to get, and now you can buy at Costco and In-N-Out, speaking as a Cali native. Relay 5 Wagyu is definitely not overrated. Anything that incorporates flaming hot Cheetos or Doritos into their food. The exception being flaming hot Cheetos and Doritos. Most ketchup is just sugar pretending to be tomatoes. Started getting sugar free when I was dieting and I can't go back to the sweet kind. Cake balls. I love cake, but I don't want to pay $4 for one bite of cake. Bacon. I like bacon, don't get me wrong, but I never understood how people made it their entire life for those few years. It's great. It's not life changing. For real, people gotta stop acting like they won the lottery every time a piece of bacon reaches their plate. Turkish delight. There's no way I'd betray my siblings to a witch for that stuff. That's the point. It highlights the severity of wartime rations that the kid would sell out his family for such a lame treat. Pho. Hear me out, I'm Viet and it's not our best dish. It's not even our best soup. If you like pho, try bun bo hue. It's a similar spicy, more complex soup. As I always tell people, pho is like a warm hug from a friend, but bun bo hue is like a passionate kiss from a lover. Bun bo hue slaps. However, my favorite dish is spring rolls. I cannot get enough of them. PF Chang's. They used to be a lot better. It was never authentic, but their Americanized Chinese was a huge step above your average Chinese place. Now it's pretty underwhelming. Reminder to sort by controversial. People treat Nutella like it's God's gift to man. I feel like it used to be better. I tasted it when a friend brought it home from a trip to Italy and it was delicious. Now it tastes like a failed cake icing. Sturgeon. Over here it's sometimes treated like the pinnacle of fish, but I find the taste so meh. Personally, I prefer salmon over sturgeon 10 times. Where are you at that eating sturgeon is even an option? It's listed as an endangered species as far as I know. Good pizza is amazing. But when it's the A-quality pizza with way too much cheese, extremely overrated. Edit. Wow. Thank you for the silver, that's my first award. Was it pizza by Alfredo or Alfredo's Pizza Cafe? I have a few. Fondant looks nice, but I hate the taste, and in my experience I get way more fondant than actual cake. Charcoal and Food experienced a lot of this while in Colorado for business. Really not that good. Avocado on everything, it's got its place. I don't need it on a burger with an avocado aioli and avocado dipping sauce. Pumpkin spice everything. Never got the craze, and maybe it's because I grew to dislike pumpkin, but I feel that can be overrated too. Pumpkin spice is just cinnamon and nutmeg. There's no pumpkin flavor. Cupcakes. I get that they are easy to serve, but really aren't that good. Commercial made gourmet cupcakes broke my childhood belief that there is no such thing as too much icing. When the icing pile on top of the cupcake is taller than the cupcake itself, that's too much icing, and I won't be dissuaded. Deconstructed meals. At a restaurant? Absolutely. I'm paying you to construct that shit. At home? Slop it on a plate and I'll construct it in my mouth. Caviar. Caviar and fish roe in general is fantastic. It's just not worth what real caviar costs. Bone-in steak. I'm a smoker aficionado myself. I'm big on doing it right, so I get that I'm cutting against the grain. Here with this opinion. For years I've heard the bone adds flavor, but it's honestly just a load of horse crap and the meat tastes the same either way. If you don't have a dog to give the bone to, that dumb tomahawk ribby you just paid $160 for was 50% bone, 25% table flare, and 25% meat. And if you ordered it medium rare, as you should, the part by the bone is gonna be equivalent to gnawing on a fresh steer carcass, deep red and undercooked. I've done several tests on my Traeger and Amp, my regular grill now with temperature probes down to a science, and it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. I only enjoy a bone-in prime rib because it is usually cheaper and it comes with its own roasting rack. The bone does not add flavor, The bone has flavor though, so you can use that afterward to make great bone stock after roasting. Turkey. I grew up without turkey being part of our cultural Christmas food, and I'm not from the US, so no Thanksgiving, and I've never really sought out turkey, nor eaten it when something else, particularly chicken, is on offer. It's gamier, drier chicken, and despite being big, doesn't really offer more in any way than a chicken does. Hard to cook well, and realistically will result in leftovers that can best be described as not as nice as chicken. It's basically just a bigger, shittier version of chicken that people feel they have to eat on certain days because tradition. Mostly agreed, but only when it's cooked whole. Turkey wings are great. I don't know who decreed we have to cook a giant bird whole and struggle to make it taste well seasoned. Caviar for the price of a teaspoonful. You can have a 3-course meal for 2 in a good restaurant, with wine. Fish eggs don't really taste that good. Kale. Spinach is more nutritious in every way. Spinach better than lettuce for sandwiches and salads, but I prefer kale over spinach for pastas, soups, etc. anytime I want more of a thick crunchy green. Red velvet anything. I like red velvet mostly because it's usually paired with cream cheese icing, which is bomb. But I would still rather just chocolate with cream cheese icing instead.